Welcome and thank you for tuning in to this show, which is on TTT Live at Talk City 91.1 FM and on Facebook at TTT Live Online. I'm DK Ronstar. Now, we want to speak today with Stephon Isaac. He was born in Plymouth, Tobago, and has consistently been involved in youth and sport development work, seeking to encourage other young persons in that area to improve their standard of life. Now, he remains a firm believer that these young people simply need the support and guidance. He has represented Trinidad and Tobago at numerous international youth conferences around the world and is currently the Youth Deputy Governor of Tobago Development, the Youth Government of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, we simply have not spoken with enough youth and we have not spoken with enough persons speaking specifically to life in the beautiful Sister Isle. So we're starting one person at a time and saying good afternoon, Stephon Jelly Isaac.
Good afternoon, man, and I appreciate this interview.
Now the thing is, you
I'm
were
looking
carded.
forward to any question that is posed to me that I'll be able to answer directly.
Great. And we chuck in fire, we push in questions. Now you were carded to represent TNT in South Africa once the pandemic is settled. What is that engagement about?
It's actually to discuss youth development as it relates to Africa and the Caribbean, and well, more so the Commonwealth. So we do like a partnership, and we discuss, things that is affecting the young people within the Commonwealth and the African region, which is Latin America and the Caribbean region, Trinidad and Tobago falls under.
All right. Any idea? Well, let me not ask when you think it'll happen, but I'm wondering how else has the pandemic affected you? And we start off personally.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of your routines, things you would normally do, how has it affected you?
Business-wise, it has affected business, jobs opportunities for young people, including myself as a young upcoming entrepreneur. Not being able to travel to represent the country, which is, one of the the falling points. All your friends abroad expecting to see you throughout the year, and we can't see you because of COVID-19. We're under restrictions, can't travel to represent our respective countries. But we still communicate via Zoom. We have our normal monthly meetings and that kind of stuff that we keep interactive with young people across the world. And that is good. Thankful for social media and the whole new norm of virtual meetings, virtual conferences and that kind of stuff. So we are hoping that come September, where myself and probably next 50 young persons from across the world will be able to meet up in South Africa, that we could afford to have a virtual conference as we discuss, international relationship and youth in politics and the involvement of young persons in politics across the world.
Now, not asking you to speak for everyone, but what are some of the differences, because you started to speak to them already, but some of the differences that you observe with businesses or business models in Tobago?
In Tobago, it's not as bad as Trinidad, though. But in terms of young persons losing their jobs, young persons being employed, my suggestion going forward is that the Tobago Assembly needs to act swiftly in terms of creating opportunities for young persons. And I think this present PNM administration is doing good in terms of seeking that young people to do a lot more in terms of agriculture. So we have a lot of young persons on the island now involved in agriculture. That is a way forward. Food security is very important going forward.
Is working from home working out?
Pardon?
Is working from home, working remotely, using internet, working from home, is that working out?
Yeah, it is. Actually, I still go and check on the business now and then, but working from home, having meetings from home, virtual meetings and that kind of stuff is always good. You're not in a physical space, but you're there virtually. You still interact with your peers across the world, across the Trinidad and Tobago by extension. At the youth government level, we do have our monthly meetings as well via Zoom meeting, which is good. We keep active. We're not gonna wait until the pandemic is over because we don't know when it's gonna be over. So we still have to contribute and do stuff to ensure that we stay up to date with what is taking place in the country.
Now, with regard to the fact that there's a great deal of tourism in Tobago on a normal level, the face-to-face interaction that would be required for some of those things. With that in mind, or in that context, do you see remote work and happening and Zoom meetings and things like that happening past the pandemic on a way that is very different from what would have happened before?
In terms of the tourism aspect of it?
Yes, please.
Well,
tourism market, tourism in general.
Oh, no. Oh, in general.
Yes.
It depends on the how many people. So let me say the tourism attractions on the island, you have to limit the amount of visitors. The most popular one is the Booker Reef and the Island Point, which most people come to the island to do in terms of the domestic tourism. People from Trinidad coming to Tobago to experience this Tobago Booker Reef and this whole Island Pool tour experience. So for me, and I'm not sure if the assembly or the administration would take it into consideration, is limiting the reef boats. Normally a reef boat could hold up to 30 persons, could be more. I say going forward that we need to limit these persons for boats and limit the amount of visitors to the reef as well too, which could be good in terms of conservation.
What are some of or do you see any positives coming out of this experience or opportunities that can be grabbed at this point in time with regard to the pandemic and what is happening on the ground in Tobago?
Well, in terms of on the ground in Tobago, it's a good because people are changing their lifestyle, the way they live, the way they operate, the way they do business, the way they interact with patients. It's totally different. And I think coming out of this pandemic, the world is going to change, not just Tobago or Trinidad and Tobago by extension. The world is already changing into a new virtual lifestyle. So, for example, the Tobago Sub-Assembly, they have virtual conferences, virtual meetings. The chief secretary has his virtual office days, which is good. So it's really good to see we adapting to this new norm in terms of the virtual lifestyle that we want to live and get accustomed to. But also we need to adapt that style of slowly going back out into the public domain.
Now, one of the reasons I ask is that I sincerely hope that Trinidad and Tobago are able to explore each other a little more and understand each other a little more and not seem so distant because of this. And I tell people that in terms of Tobago, Castara has my heart. I don't necessarily like the more touristy parts, but in terms of saying, okay, well, this is here and it's happening and it's just a water taxi or a plane away.
Well, as the Prime Minister recommended at his last press conference, he welcomed the people of Trinidad to Tobago. As we all know, the domestic tourism plays an integral part in the development of Tobago. Trinidadians come to the island, they rent villas, they rent cars, so businesses across they depend on domestic tourists. And for me, personally, I am big on domestic tourism because I know what could happen to the island in terms of that Trinidad domestic tourists coming to the island, which is good. That sector of the tourism is always good to see that.
Definitely. And then there's some things that you just don't necessarily think about too much. But at the same time, when you discover them, the things that you want to go back to, and things like the Blue Food Festival. But I could wax on, or we could go on, but we take a break, we come back with more. We're speaking with Stephon Isaac, and we are hoping to have so much more in the second half of this conversation. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are here on TTT Live, Chalk City 91.1 FM and TTT Live online on Facebook. We're speaking with Stephon Isaac. And no, Stephon, I want to quote you and ask you what all those words mean. in the sense that supportive macroeconomic policies can help to restore confidence and aid the recovery of demand as the virus outbreak eases, but cannot offset the immediate disruptions that result from enforced shutdowns and travel restrictions. Break that down for me.
It's like naturally getting back to life, getting back to normal that we were pre-COVID-19. Yes, we have to accept the fact that things have changed, but we cannot stay focused on that. In terms of, let me use the construction sector. The construction sector will be closed. Some of the major projects were closed, now it's open back and gradually opening back. So why I put that is because we can't just stay closed. We have to open up gradually in terms of the phases of the Prime Minister mentioned. And we cannot be shut down completely because of the economy. We have to find ways to build back our economy.
What are some of the policies that you've seen coming out of the Tobago House of Assembly that have made you sit up and take note, one way or the other?
I didn't hear you, pardon. I didn't hear the question properly.
Oh, sorry. What are some of the things that you've seen, the policies coming out of THA that have made you stop and say, okay, I'm looking at that, be it good, bad, or indifferent?
I think one that stood out to me is the way they treat with the hoteliers, the Tobago Tourism Hotel Association, in terms of giving financial support to hotels, guest houses, and businesses. That really stood out to me, and I think that the Tobago House of Assembly really treated that issue in the best way possible.
Okay. Is there anything that you still want to see the THA do? So be it in terms of degree or something way out of the box that you haven't seen them speak about as yet?
My only concern is the wearing of masks persons on the island. Being on the island for a few days is just like not much persons adhering to the rules of wearing masks, and no mask, no service. You go into a grocery, persons are still without masks. That is something I would like to see the Tobago House of Assembly implement seriously. Clamp down on these businesses. No service, no mask, no service. That we need to do that as soon as possible. Because COVID-19 is not past us as yet; it's still here. So we have to make sure that we put things in place to protect the life of our persons on the island.
Understood. Now, there are many ways to address a problem. THA may do it one way, but is there action you would like to see from youth bodies, or just like people on the ends? What do you have on that, man?
I think enough is done. Enough has been done in terms of young persons assisting volunteering service to help the new persons on the island, which I'm really, really proud of. Young persons are coming to the front to assist, and that is something that we don't really usually see. And we should be proud of ourselves as young persons, young leaders, I should say, coming to help those who are, in need.
What are some of those examples? Because you could say, but give some people some shine. Who are some of the examples that you're saying of young leaders, as you said, coming to the fore and stepping up to the challenge?
There are many groups, political groups, the sporting organizations within the Bethel districts, Cape and Bonaccord district. Tobago West MP Shamfa Kojo just saw her doing some really nice work with a football organization in her constituency, which is really good. These are the things that we like to see as young persons coming up. Once we see our leaders doing stuff, we as young leaders coming behind them would follow suit. And that is really, really nice. It's a nice gesture.
And that brings me to the question is, what is needed to really kind of kickstart this type of action? And I ask you specifically that question because I heard in 2016 you developed an entire award after you and is recognizing the most progressive student of the graduating class of your alma mater. Now, what is it a matter of the person doing it, or is there a policy needed or an environment to develop that type of individual?
I would say the environment and the way that you are being viewed by persons in your community, persons in your country. I am not perfect though, I was one of those persons that growing up, you grew up on different lifestyle, but as you grow older and you meet people, you travel the world and you represent the country, you gain experiences. And my alma mater saw the need that, I have contributed to the development of young persons in Tobago and young persons in my alma mater and throughout Trinidad and Tobago. I think they see the need to reward me with something like that, and I'm forever grateful for it to this day. And young people need to volunteer their services. Not everything, you're invited to do or somebody asks you to do is about money. We have to be strong on volunteerism in Trinidad and Tobago to be able to prosper and to do good as young persons coming up. So I encourage young persons to volunteer their time and their services and their experiences to better our colleagues in the youth sector.
How does that happen when you have an individual who is willing to volunteer, but they're not necessarily sure, okay, where am I going to volunteer? Or the person who may have the skill is not sure about whether or not they want to share it to that individual?
It will take a little while. So it's about gaining self-confidence. Confidence is very important. Like, I'm going to give you an example. Yesterday, a lawyer guy reached out to me, for some advice on politics. He being a lawyer, I not being a lawyer, and to me, I felt so happy to know that a lawyer reached out to me to ask me for advice on politics, which it kind of blew my mind. Made me so happy to realize that I have touched so many lives in different sectors across Trinidad and Tobago.
What next do you want to see? Sorry?
No, so it's more about you being confident with yourself and knowing what your strong point and what you're willing to do as a young person.
If you had one thing to see that would help young individuals innovate, bring ideas forward, move it forward, what would that be?
Create opportunities for yourself. That is key. Create opportunities for yourself. Respect, put yourself in the forefront so you can be seen. Again, volunteerism. You need to be volunteering our services as young persons. Not everything is monetary rewards. I am key and I'm very strong on young persons coming forward and volunteering themselves. There are a lot of youth organizations in Trinidad and Tobago need that support from young persons that could help. So if myself and other young persons could go out there and assist these youth organizations, the police club, the community groups, to be good.
I hear and I appreciate that, because I think there's some places that Tanti or Auntie saying, God bless you, you can reach a great deal further than just getting passage money to go and come.
No, it's more than that, man. It's more like, we as young people, and I just encourage them to do that too. Know your roots. Your network is your net worth. People that you associate with yourself will determine your worth. And most young people are aware of that. Your network is your net worth.
All right, so we want to thank you so much, Stephon Isaac, for volunteering to this conversation. And hopefully this is the first of a few others to come. And you network us with a few other people that we can have conversations with.
Yeah, sure, it's not a problem, man.
All right, and we also want to thank you for tuning in on the TTT Live, Talk City 91.1 FM, and on Facebook at TTT Live Online. I'm DK Rostar. Thank you for tuning in.